Hi there, my name is Cameron Knight, and this is my wife Vanessa.
Hello.
Thank you so much for reaching out to us for your question regarding when you will be in your first relationship. One of the things I love about the tarot is it is, in my opinion, and in many people's opinion, a repository of information that's and symbols that speaks of cycles and the processes in our life. It is a book of metamorphosis, and it acknowledges the ever-changing modes of being that we will find ourselves in throughout the course of life. That explains why we change, the importance of change, and where we might find these changes to take place. And so the reason I say that is because even though this art form that we participate in, which is one of divining or fortune telling, the way that it's done is through the acknowledgement of processes. And so even though it is not constructed to give certain dates or certain times in particular, it can show you thematically when things will arrive in your life in accordance to where you are and what you are. And so in order to answer that question for you very honestly, but also directly, and I believe accurately, I would like this reading to be done in a way that acknowledges where you're going to be at and what you're going to look at, or how you're going to be received by people in this time of reception. So whenever it comes upon you, you will know that you are in that place where it is to happen. And so with that said, what we're going to do is we're going to draw 3 cards, and we're just going to let those cards flow, and we're going to read them one after another and find what's going to come forth in that regard. But before, I would like to draw one center card, which will serve as the anchor and the main theme of the reading, which will represent you in this stage when you are going to find this first and wonderful love.
The Knight of Cups.
That is beautiful. Now, as I mentioned, this card is to represent you. And the Knight of Cups is a beautiful card. It has long been one of my favorite cards, and was one of my favorite cards for years, because the Knight represents the active principle in life. He is not the king or queen that sits on the throne, or the page that is the servant, but rather the one that goes forth in activity and articulates the desire of the kingdom. I just think it's the greatest, stage to be in life. And in his hand, he holds the cups, which is the symbol of water and that of our emotions. And so this is an individual, you, that has become an active, articulating facilitator of your pure emotions. These aren't just any emotions. These are emotions that are brought up from the undercurrent of our subconscious. This is like, you could call it the thoughts or words of the spirit itself. And in order to do that, the Knight needs to not only arm themselves with all of the vestiges of someone capable of articulating those inner dictates of the heart, but the courage to do so. Do you have anything to add?
That was beautiful.
So it's a very active card. So I see that when you find this person in your life, you are going to be in the throes of activity and engagement. You're not going to be just sitting passively by, wondering and, just kind of twirling your thumbs, but rather expressing something within your heart that you feel very purposeful. One of the things to note about this Knight is they're all by themselves for right now. Although they have their trusty steed with them, they don't need anybody else to encourage them or dictate to them. They have found their inner voice and they're able to express it. So with the following cards, I would like to find out how you're going to do that and the best course of action that you might find.
The Hierophant.
Oh, that's a great card. So the Hierophant is the card of tradition. It's that which has always worked. It's, you could call it traditional values. And a lot of times, I have to admit, even myself, when I think of like a priest or like the church or government or some rigid structure, you know, as kind of an artist and an eccentric, I kind of pull back because I want to feel free. But one of the important things to do when we start out on a journey is to find some type of anchor point to give us some type of um, grounding so then that we can go forth on. Now, this is something I would encourage you to do if you don't feel like you have that, or you feel like you were born into something that isn't necessarily you. So maybe you were born of a particular faith, but it didn't really resonate with you. Go out there and find some type of faith form that can give you some type of direction. Or maybe it's a spiritual practice or yoga or whatever it is. Go to something that we know works in this world, and then once you get that foundation, you can then kind of create your own path in a way. So I would say, even though you're going out on your own, still lean into the community around you.
Two of Swords.
Two of Swords. Do you want to talk about this one at all? Okay. Two of Swords, it's a lovely card, but it is a card of choice. It means that you are going to be facing in the future options, and those options are going to leave you kind of blocked off and overwhelmed. And so to make sure that you use your intuition always in coming to a correct conclusion, you can see that in order for her to do this appropriately, she has blindfolded herself, which is representative of cutting herself off from her senses so that she can listen to her inner voice, which is further expressed by the moon, a symbol of our inner world and our emotions and our intuition. I'd like to pull one more card.
The Six of Pentacles.
The card of generosity of spirit. And so the theme that I'm getting from this card and this reading in general is that if you decide, or when you feel like you are going out into the world, expressing your intuition, you're doing it in the spirit of, in a language that is recognizable by your community, and with the generosity of spirit, that is when you're going to draw in all those eyes that are going to be fascinated and in adoration of you. And from that audience of people will be that one person that you are seeking. I don't see this as a far off vision. The knight is young. He's in the peak of life. He's not an old person or someone that's, missed the prime of their youth. And so to you, I say, go forward. Sometimes the best way to find something is to not seek it directly, but to become solidified in ourself first. So I hope this reading was helpful to you and for you, and we wish you every good thing on the greatest endeavor and adventure of life, which is love, which in the end of things brings us closer to that divine presence and in this world. So thank you.